The aim of this cassette is to show you exactly how I play snooker, and also to improve your own game, whether you're a complete beginner or a fairly accomplished amateur. Now, it's okay me showing you on the table and you just sitting at home watching and saying that looks very, very nice, but whether you want to become good or not depends on whether you're prepared to put in the many hours of practice that are required to become successful. To improve your play requires two things. Firstly, a very, very sound basic technique. And then as much practice as possible. Then and only then, if you've got enough natural ability inside you, you might be able to go the whole way and turn professional. Of course, that doesn't mean to say that practicing has to be boring. What I'm going to be trying to do is make the exercises and practice sessions as interesting as possible, and so you can get the most fun out of actually practicing the game of snooker. If you look at the styles of the top players on the professional circuit, you'll see that there's quite a large variation in the way they play. To a degree, everybody plays snooker differently because everybody's built differently. So what I'll be teaching you is my way of playing snooker. It's not the only way, of course, but I do have what's considered to be a classic textbook style, and I've spent many, many hours analysing my game and thinking about how to develop accuracy and consistency. These are the two key things to successful snooker. If you don't take the trouble to develop a sound basic technique, then you could be severely limited in how far you can go in the game. So it really is worthwhile spending as much time as you can getting the fundamentals of your game right, until they become second nature even. Some things you can improve quickly, but other parts, like controlling the cue ball, can only improve as a result of experience. One of the amazing things about snooker is that you never really stop learning, and that goes for world champions as well. Okay, let's start right at the beginning. If you've never played snooker before, what's the best way to get started? Well, I think it's a bad idea to start bogging yourself down with too much technical detail because you only get confused. What you really want to be concerned with is just hitting the ball and getting used to potting a few, because that, of course, is what the game's about. First things first, what about the cue? Well, if you're serious about the game, you're going to obviously buy your own cue. Firstly, best to buy one that's straight to start with. Wood does tend to warp a bit, so you're going to have a cue that ends up perhaps a little bit bent. But that's not so important as getting used to it, which is the reason why all professional players have their own cue. My cue is an ash cue, as you can see. That has a very strong, visible grain all the way down. Most of the modern day cues are these days made of maple because it's a much easier wood to use these days. As you can see, both these cues are one-piece cues. You'll also see on television a lot of the players play with a two-piece cue these days. There's no difference really, apart from the fact that the two-piece cues are easier to take around the country. And actually one-piece cues are a bit cumbersome. I think if my one ever broke or I had it stolen or anything like that, I would actually use a two-piece cue from then on. Concerning the weight of a cue, most cues average out about 17 ounces. Mine's a 17-ounce cue, and that is a really sort of average weight, and it feels nice in your hand. And of course, when you're thinking about buying a cue, buy a cue that fits your hand. If you've got a very long fingers, you can use a thicker butt. If you've got very short fingers, perhaps a thinner butt. As long as it feels comfortable, that's the main thing. Concerning the length of a cue, it also depends on how tall you are, but most cues are made to 4 foot 9 inches long, 4 foot 10, and that is an average length that you don't really have to need anything bigger than that or smaller. Really, you should look after your cue as best you can. Keep it in a case. Don't lean it against walls because that can make it bend, especially over a long period. And don't leave it in the car if it's a hot day because that can really ruin a cue. And really the main important thing about a cue is really the tip, because that's where the part that hits the ball. I like a tip that's firm but not rock hard. If a tip's too hard, it won't grip the ball properly. If it's too soft, you won't get the right amount of feel when you're playing a shot, especially when you're putting side on. Okay, now we're ready to play snooker. If you're an absolute beginner, there are only 5 really basic points to remember that you'll have to keep remembering all throughout your snooker playing career. Firstly, make sure you've got a nice comfortable stance with the right leg straight and the left leg bent. Secondly, make sure you have a very, very solid left hand, as strong as you can make it, and hopefully get a comfortable V for which the cue can run along. Thirdly, make sure the cue is as parallel to the table as possible. That means you've got no chance of putting any side on the ball, hopefully. Fourth point, make sure that the cue runs backwards and forwards, nice and smooth, no jerking. And the fifth point, when you've played the shot, keep your head well down on the cue. This stops any movement of the body. Just to remember those points again, a solid stance, a firm bridge, cue parallel to the table with your chin on top of it, a smooth cue action throughout the shot, and keep your head down after you've hit the white ball. Once you feel you've got these points right, you can now start to try and hit the white ball straight without any side, which is a very, very important part of the game. I'm going to try and hit the white ball from the brown spot, up over the blue, pink and black spots, hit the top cushion and come back down the spots. A very, very difficult thing to do. Remember all I've told you. The only other two things to remember are, firstly, to make sure that the cue is aiming in the middle of the white ball, and secondly, make sure your eyes are actually looking at the blue spot. If you don't hit the ball in the middle, something like this will happen. The ball will come off at an angle. Depending on how much side you put on, the further off course it will go. If you find you're not hitting the ball consistently up and down the spots, after a little while, we'll have to look a bit more deeply into your cueing action. Another useful exercise at this stage is to try potting the white ball into different pockets around the table. Try doing this from different points on the table and see how many you can sink out of, say, 10 shots. We now come to potting balls, because of course that's how you score points at snooker. Lots of people ask me how I pot a ball. Well, of course I've been doing it half my life now and it's second nature to me. But I'm going to try and show you a method of how to pot a ball. Lots of people ask me, is it right to aim for a particular spot on the blue ball, which is in line with the pocket? Well, it's a very, very difficult thing to do that, and it's too complicated and you get very confused because there's lights on the ball as well that are given off from the shade. How I'm going to try and teach you how to pot is by using another ball to start off with. Just use a red ball and line the red ball up with the blue ball and the pocket so that all three are dead in line. Then what I'm going to do is very simply aim with the white ball to hit full ball onto the red ball, and the blue ball should go in. Now, before I play the shot, of course, I'm going to take that one out of the way. I'll just show you how that works. Of course, you can't do that in a match because it's a foul stroke, but after a while, if you practice it enough, you'll find that you become accustomed to the shots without having actually to put the ball in the way. You might think there are lots of different potting angles, thousands even, but I'm going to show you that there are only 5 basic potting angles. Okay, the first of the 5 basic potting angles is, of course, the full ball shot, which is a dead straight pot. And as you can see, the white ball has to completely cover the blue ball in order to hit the ball straight in the line. The other extreme is the very, very fine cut, which is this ball here. And what I've got to try and do is to graze the outside of the blue ball with the outside of the white ball. That's very much a matter of judgment. In between these two is a very important shot to know. It's called the half ball shot. You actually have a definite aiming point here by aiming for the outside edge of the blue ball. And as you can see, when the red ball's taken away, you're actually covering up half of the blue ball. Now we come to the 3/4 ball pot, which is trying to cover up 3/4 of the blue ball with the white ball. And of course, remember, get as low as possible on the shot so you can actually superimpose the white ball onto the blue ball. The 3/4 ball shot. And now the reverse of the 3/4 ball shot, where you're trying to cover up with the white ball 1/4 of the blue. The great advantage of this potting method is that you're not actually aiming for an imaginary spot on the ball. You're actually putting one disc onto another disc, which is much easier to visualize. You might wonder about what happens when you don't get a perfect angle on the shot, say it's not a half ball shot or it's not a 3/4 ball shot, and say the white ball is there. Well, that would be a thick half ball shot, and you recognize that after a while. And the same perhaps with a shot there. That could be either a thick 1/4 ball shot or a thin half ball shot. It doesn't matter as long as you recognize the angles. And another thing is they're not actually only on the blue, they'll be all around the table. You'll start to recognize those after a while. But a very important thing, work out the angle of the shot before you actually get down to the table. This is a very, very important part, because when you're actually down, you can't move your cue around. You must work out that beforehand. That's enough of the theory. Now I'm going to show you a practice exercise I used to do for hours on end, and actually still do today. I'll set up a ring of 7 white balls around the red ball. The first is a 1/4 ball shot. Make sure your cueing is nice and smooth. Don't panic on the shot at all. Make sure that you stand behind the shot before you play it. Judge the angle of the shot. This is a half ball shot. Also try and make sure, as you can see with this 3/4 ball shot, that your head is still until you're confident that the ball has actually gone in the pocket. With the dead straight shot, a little advantage is to try and follow the white ball into the pocket as well. This proves that you're actually hitting the ball through straight. Not an easy thing to do. Now to the other side of the table, just to make sure you have no preference for sides of potting, another 3/4 ball shot. Back again to a half ball shot. Remember also to make sure that before you hit the ball, your eyes are actually on the red ball. And lastly, another 1/4 ball shot. Remembering to make sure you have a very, very solid stance. This gives you the best chance of keeping dead still on the shot. You don't have to just practice your potting angles on the blue. You can try them on the pink or the black, which are very, very important spots on the table as well. And talking of that, I've got a situation now where I'm going to try and pot the black ball into the corner pocket and run the white ball through and see where it ends up. And then from where it does end up, I shall try and once again work out the potting angle and continue from there. My first shot is a 3/4 ball shot. Put the black back on the spot. And this time I've left myself with a thickish 3/4 ball shot on the other side, which is called a cut back into the top pocket, making sure to keep my head down after I've played the shot. Don't worry about where the white ball goes at the moment. Don't try and control it. Just try and pot the ball. Now I've got quite a difficult shot. I'm a bit further away from the black ball. This is roughly a 1/4 ball shot. And if you do get too far out of position, just set the white ball up again in a nice place. Start off this time with a half ball shot. Nowhere on the black, set it up again. If you feel very confident, you can start trying to alter the position of where the white ball goes. That's getting on to a professional level, so just concentrate really at the moment on smooth cueing. Make sure you're looking at the ball before you hit it, and keep your head down. This time I've left myself dead straight on the black, very close to it anyway. By now you'll be realising you're not putting too many balls. You'll probably be getting a bit frustrated by this. Well, it's not just a question of practice, it's to do with basic techniques, and the foundation for success in snooker is a sound cueing action. And that's what we're going to look at next. Now, if you've been playing for some time, you might have got into some bad habits or slipped back into doing what feels comfortable, but is actually wrong. All I can say is persevere until the right technique becomes second nature. Make all your habits good habits. It'll pay off in the end. First of all, we come to how to hold the cue. I use the word grip reluctantly because that tends to mean that you're actually gripping the cue as tight as you can, and that's something you mustn't do. I hold the cue like this. As you can see from the back, the cue is resting in the finger pads, and the whole hand comes around, the thumb comes through to make the groove for the cue. Now, as to how hard I hold the cue, the amount of tension I actually use with the fingers, as you can see, the cue will actually slide quite nicely through there. As I come to play the shot, the whole hand squeezes around the cue, and that gives a lot of feeling on the shot. And so that's why you mustn't grip the cue to start with, otherwise, if you're as tight as you can, there's no way you can start squeezing afterwards. As you can see, the wrist hangs vertically with the rest of the right forearm, which should also be in a line with the ground vertical. Don't hold your wrist out like that, or like that, as both of them are very bad. And also, make sure, just another point, don't hold the cue too soft, because this means there's still too much floppiness in the wrist. As to where to hold the cue, there's no particular place you're actually going to hold it for every shot, because every shot's different. When I'm playing a normal shot, my wrist and forearm from the side on view hangs vertically, and this is how it should hang. I should be telling you about that later on. If I'm playing a shot off the cushion, where my bridge is a lot closer to the white ball, as you can see, I bring my grip down the cue, and I'm holding there about a foot down the cue. For a power shot, I'm going to have to hold the cue a lot further back, because I need a bit more room to pull my cue back. Or, in a situation where I can't get my bridge in the right position because there's another ball in the way, I'll have to hold the cue then right at the end, as you can see, with my little finger around the back. This sort of gives you a nice feeling of gripping the cue in a very sort of nice way. And, as you can see, plenty of room to squeeze the grip. Coming back to the length of the cue and making sure that your cue is long enough for you and is not on the short side, play a shot that involves having a bridge of about 1.5 feet, and then make sure that when you're down on the shot, that your grip is right at the end and it's still vertical with the ground and not in a forward position. If my cue was only that long, I would be in trouble, because I'd have to go like that, and that's, of course, useless. OK, we're now going to look at the stance. This is the most important part of the whole action, because, of course, the rest of your body is placed upon it. What I'm going to try and do is to put the blue ball into the middle pocket, the white ball is directly in line with it, and the cue for your guide is to make a line with the shot. If I was to stand like this on the shot, I wouldn't have much stability at all. It'd be very easy for me to be pushed over. Also, if I was to stand too square to the shot like that, I would find it very difficult to get down and place my left hand on the table. So there's a compromise between the two. What I do is to actually place my right foot on the line of the shot with my right knee straight, so the whole leg is rigid. The left foot, of course, has got to go out to the left-hand side of the body, and also is bent to give much more stability, a bit like a boxer would be fighting like that, and to make it as solid as possible so there's very little movement, so that the whole of my body won't move at all. So it goes like this roughly. Of course, it varies for each individual. But here's how I stand. The angle there is about 60 degrees, and this gives the best chance of me not falling over, and also being very easy for me to bend down and play the shot comfortably. You may have been told already in a few books to stand with your feet at 45 degrees to the shot, with your hips lined up, say, to that pocket over there, and then twist into the shot. The reason I don't like this is because when I'm actually down, my whole body weight tends to want to make me go over in that direction. So I stand much squarer to the table, although not straight square on. I stand at 60 degrees because it means that my hips are much more in line with the shot. And when I actually do play to put a straight ball like that, the way I want to go is forward, in line with the shot. This brings me to how you should be balanced on the shot. You don't want to be so far forward that when you actually play the shot, you're straining and want to fall over. Otherwise, there's too much tension on the rest of your left arm. And also, you don't want to be so far forward with your right leg that you have to lean back, because, of course, this means you're actually falling away from the shot and won't get enough power into it when you need to play a power shot. So what you've got to do is to try and make yourself as roughly balanced as possible around the back leg, and to make it so the back leg is actually as straight vertical always as possible. This means that the actual balance point is around the centre of your body, and also when you do lift your bridge off the floor, there's just a hint of movement in the forward direction. Just to recap, the right foot in line with the shot, with the whole of the right leg straight, locked at the knee. The left foot to the left of the shot with the left leg bent. The weight of the shot should be not too far forward, not too far back, and also try and keep the hips in line with the shot, not too far to the right of it. Right, we're now going to look at the bridge, which of course is a very, very important part of the whole action as well, because it's one of the two actual touching points on the cue you have. The bridge is, as it suggests, must be a very, very firm, solid base for the cue to run through. I can't really show you or teach you your own individual bridge, because of course everybody's got different hands. What I'm going to try and show you is roughly how you should go about it. First of all, just put your hand normally on the table like that. Then try and spread your fingers as wide apart as possible. I've got a very, very wide spread, which is helpful to me. Also, the fact that I've been playing a long time means I've developed that. Then raise the knuckles up and grip with the pads of the fingers, like so. And then bring the thumb into the index finger and try and bend that part of the thumb up as much as possible. This then gives you a very, very strong V to run the cue through. And of course, there's very little wobble. As you can see, I can have to move my hand a lot to get any real wobble out of the shot. And so, as you can see, there's a nice, very, very strong V for the cue to run through. As for how far away from the ball you should be with the bridge, I think roughly a foot is about average. If you're too close to the shot, that gives you not enough time to bring the cue back and develop any cue power. Of course, if you're too far away from it, that means any movement at the back here will be exaggerated at the tip end. So you've got to find a place in between, which sort of accounts for both. So I think about a foot's right, and that gives you a nice control and also not much movement in that direction as well. Okay, that's the normal bridge. Of course, a lot of the time you can't actually use your normal bridge for reasons perhaps the ball is too close to the cushion. What you've got to try and do then is to adapt the bridge to suit the shot. And depending on how far away it is from the cushion, governs really what sort of bridge you use. What I'm going to try and do is to show you varying types of bridges from different distances away from the cushion. And starting off with the white ball level with the black ball, as you can see, I can get the whole of my bridge on the table very nicely, and also, just to make it even firmer, as most players do, the whole of my left arm on the table makes a nice solid base. When the white ball is level with the pink, I then find that I can't put the rest of my forearm on the table. I have to lean it on the cushion, but still I'm very, very solid. When the white ball is level with the blue, I now come into problems because I can't actually put the base of my hand on the table. Otherwise, I'd be too close to the shot and I'd be cramped. So I've then got to bring the bridge back a bit and rest that part of the hand on the cushion, but still gripping very, very strongly with the finger pads. That means there's a gap underneath, but as long as you keep it very, very still, it's okay. When the white ball's level with the brown, even that's too close, so I have to bring my bridge back even further, and this is where it becomes a matter of choice. You can either cue like this, make a groove between the first finger and the thumb, or you can wrap the index finger over the top of the cue and guide it between the first and second fingers, and also make sure the thumb is gripping against the table. It's really a matter of choice. Once again, with the white ball next to the green, you still have the same choice, but I tend to find that this knuckle tends to get in the way of the shot, so I prefer to play the shot like that. The hardest bridge, of course, is when the white ball is very, very close to the cushion. This is where most people have a lot of trouble. They get a bit panicky and want to try and snatch at the shot, and also a lot of miscuing happens. The one thing to remember is, of course, you've got to try and hit the ball very, very nice and smooth, and to have that, you still need a very, very strong bridge. What you need to do, of course, is to put the fingers on the table, grip as firm as possible, is to slightly raise the butt of the cue up into the air, because, of course, you'll be hitting down on the shot because you can't see too much of the white, and just bring the thumb and the index finger together to make another strong V, like so. If you want to play a power shot, which is a very hard shot off the cushion, you have to bring the bridge back even further and put the finger pads on the edge of the table and actually make the V well back off the table. This means you've then got enough room to bring the cue back a long way before you hit the ball. But of course, every shot you must make sure the bridge is as solid as possible. The only other type of bridge, apart from... There's loads of other bridges you can cue up like that. All of those really are up to your choice. You've just got to make it as comfortable and as firm as possible. And I can't start going into millions of different ways of doing those. The only other bridge you really need to know for snooker is when you're actually trying to play over another ball, which is one that a lot of people have a bit of trouble with. What you're going to try and do is to make yourself as solid as possible. First of all, your feet are going to be in a different position, but you've just got to jack yourself up in the air because the cue has got to be well up in the air. And you are only going to use the finger pads to play the shot. The rest of your hand is going to be off the table. This is how you do it. As you can see, my finger pads are really gripping into the cloth. Gives me as much stability as possible. Once again, the thumb is right next to the forefinger and making a groove with the index finger knuckle and the rest of my thumb. As you can probably see from here, I've got a very funny thumb. I'm very fortunate the fact that it's slightly double jointed. But you've got to make do with the best as possible. And as you can see, I'm still very solid, even though I'm well up in the air. Just to go back over the most important parts of the bridge, the fingers well spread apart and the whole hand gripping the cloth, the thumb making a very, very strong V with the index finger, the whole of the left forearm on the table, making the bridge as immovable as possible, about a foot away from the ball for any normal shot, and to make sure you keep as still as possible after you've played the shot with the bridge. Here's an exercise to strengthen your cueing technique off the cushion. As you can see, I've put 4 white balls on the bottom cushion tight against it, and I'm now going to try and hit the first 2 into the top corner pockets. Make sure, of course, that when you do play the shot, you keep your head down on the cue well afterwards. Of course, the white ball is very close to the cushion, so make sure you chalk the cue before every shot to avoid any miscueing, especially on a shot where you're hitting the top or the bottom of the ball. When you feel you can do that consistently, try the middle pockets. They're much harder. Of course, make sure when you do play the shot, when you actually hit the ball, you're looking at the pocket. And lastly, when you're actually playing the shot, don't panic at all. It is a hard shot to play. Make sure your cueing is nice and smooth, no jerking. And when you've actually finished the shot, make sure you leave your cue in the same position. Don't bring it back. We now come to an aspect of the game that perhaps causes more problems than any other. I'm talking about the cue action, the actual way you strike the ball. What many people don't realise is that there's a stroke-making technique to snooker that's just as important as it is in golf. Let's have a look at the cue action and see what the main points are. I believe that the simpler the technique, the less chance there is of making mistakes. Now, to me, the simplest way to make sure that you deliver your cue straight is to have the arm and the cue and the shot all in one line. So that's the first point to note. Make sure your right arm is lined up with your cue. Let me show you a way you can check the alignment of your action for yourself. Put a mirror against the side of the table, put the white ball in the middle and aim to hit its reflection in the mirror. You'll be able to see if your arm's in line with the cue. And you'll also be able to tell whether or not the 2 cues are lined up before and after the shot. Now, you might find your reflection looks something a bit like this, or perhaps the other way, tucked in. These are 2 common faults. Or you might find that the cue is actually running up the inside of your arm. If you then try and bend your left arm, you'll find that perhaps the cue will then be dead straight in line with your right arm. There are 3 positions involved in the cueing action. The first is the rest position, The second is the backswing position, and the final one is the follow-through position. Now let's look at the 3 stages together. The important thing to note is how little movement there is in the upper part of my arm. The elbow is acting as a kind of pivot. It's this stability that is the basis of a consistent, simple cueing action. In one way, the cueing action has a lot in common with the action used in darts. 180! So the second point is to keep your elbow in the same position throughout the stroke. How can you make sure this happens? Well, it all depends on having your arm vertical when your cue is in the rest position. Let me show you why. Watch what happens when my arm is stretched back too far. The butt end lifts up as I pull back. To compensate, I have to move my elbow, which would add another variable to the action. The same sort of thing happens if my arm is too far forward during rest position. This time, to actually hit the ball, I would have to drop my elbow. And as you can see, the cue comes off the bridge. A good idea is to think of the cue as a piston and the arm below the elbow as a piston rod. What you're trying to do is to move the cue backwards and forwards along exactly the same line every time. If we look at the action again, you can see another point that's really worth noting. You'll see that my head remains absolutely steady throughout the shot. This is so crucial because any movement of the head makes the arm move as well. When I was first learning the game, my father used to stand over me with the cue held a fraction of an inch above my head. If I touched the cue, I failed the test. I think it was one of the most important lessons I ever learned. Try to get into the habit of keeping your head down until the ball's gone in the pocket. Exaggerate this until it becomes second nature. It's definitely worth it. Now let's look at how to aim and make the stroke itself. Step 1 is to stand in line with the shot and make up your mind exactly what you're going to do. The time to think about angles is before you get down. This also makes sure you're not going to slide into the shot from around your last position. Step 2 is to settle into a comfortable position with a firm bridge. By now, the only things you should be concentrating on are the cue ball and the object ball. Joe Davis used to say that cueing is like aiming a rifle, and it's a good model to follow. Think of the V of your bridge as the sight and the cue as the barrel of a rifle. Just as you would with a rifle, keep your eyes as close to the line of the cue as possible. For a normal shot, the cue should be as near horizontal as you can get. The cue should be just brushing your chin. I've even got a scar on mine to prove it. If your eyesight's perfect, then your head should be positioned centrally over the cue. If it's not, then you'll naturally sight up with your strongest eye. When you feel you're in the right position, start to move the cue backwards and forwards. What you're aiming for is a smooth, rhythmic movement. This warm-up routine is an important part of the action, as you're actually practicing for the final shot. At this stage, you should look at the white ball to make sure that the tip of your cue is going to strike the ball where you want it to. For a shot without spin, that's dead centre. Now look along the line of the cue from behind the bridge, past the tip, through the white ball and onto the part of the object ball you want to hit. Try and visualise the white ball actually hitting the object ball exactly where you want it to. Flick your eyes backwards and forwards to double check where you'll be hitting both balls. There's no need now to look at the pocket, it's too late for that. Keep your eyes on one line. When you're ready to strike the ball, begin your final backswing. As you start, you should be looking at the white ball, but starting to shift your attention to the object ball. At the end of the backswing, consciously pause for a split second and make sure that your eyes are now fixed firmly on the object ball. As you thrust the cue forwards, you should be concentrating on the part of the object ball you're aiming to hit. That way you'll automatically send the cue in the right direction. Don't be caught looking halfway between the two balls as you make contact. And remember to keep your eyes fixed on the object ball, or the spot where it was, even after it's moved off. Also keep your cue at its finishing point, because that will make sure that you follow through properly. Don't try and guide the ball through with your cue. Mastering this sequence is a very, very important part of the game, making sure you're on the right ball at the right time. It might take you a long time to get into the habit, but I believe it's worthwhile, and it's also the whole secret of timing the ball. In a normal ball game, you look at the ball you're hitting or kicking, but with snooker it's completely different. At the time you make your shot, you must be looking at the object ball. It's exactly like darts. You wouldn't be looking at your dart where you were going for a treble 20. The striking action itself should be deliberate and confident. Don't snatch at the shot or exaggerate the backswing. you only need to take the cue back as far as the power of the shot requires. Punch the ball and follow through naturally. Don't be timid. Strike the ball as confidently as if all you were going to do was to hit it straight into a pocket. Above all, remember on your final backswing, pause, concentrate on the object ball, strike confidently and keep your head down. If you can get this sequence right, you're well on the road to becoming a successful snooker player. At this stage, you should go back to your original practice exercise of hitting the white ball up and down the spots, just to see how much you've improved. Remember to keep your eyes fixed on the blue spot as you pause before striking. If the ball isn't coming back over the spots, find out why. Check that you're cueing straight by using the mirror. Make sure you're also striking the ball in the middle. Try varying the power you put into the shot and see how this affects your accuracy. You'll soon find out the less accurate you're likely to be with the more power you use. Now put a ball on the blue spot and line up the white for a full ball potter into one of the top corner pockets. The line of the shot is the diagonal from the opposite corner. When you can pot this shot 10 times out of 10, you're a better player than I am. If the white ball goes in as well, that's absolute proof that you're hitting the ball dead centre. We've covered all the basic techniques involved in snooker, but even assuming that you put these all into action perfectly, it's highly unlikely you'll actually be able to make a big break. The reason is simple enough. To build up a break, firstly you need to know where the cue ball is going after it's hit the object ball. Once you've learnt this, you can start to master how to control the cue ball. And to do this often means using various types of spin, so that's what we're going to look at next. There are 3 basic types of spin. If you hit the ball below centre, the ball moves forward, but at the same time it rotates backwards. This paw ball shows the effect of backspin very well. Topspin involves striking the ball above the centre. In this case, the ball spins forward faster than it's actually travelling. Side spin is put on by striking the ball to one side of the middle of the ball. As I said, the idea of spin is to give you greater control over the white ball. In the case of backspin, there are 3 effects you have to master: the screw, the stun, and the drag. The screw shot is used when you want the white ball to come back after it's hit the object ball. You use the stun shot when you want the white ball to stop dead on contact with the object ball. With the drag shot, the cue ball slows right down before making contact and then afterwards runs on, but much more slowly than with a plain ball shot. As you will see, the difference between the 3 shots is the amount of backspin that is left on the white ball when it comes into contact with the object ball. With the screw shot, there's still plenty of backspin left on the white ball. With a stun shot, there's just enough to kill the forward motion of the white ball. In the case of the drag shot, the backspin has completely worn off and the white ball has started to roll forward again by the time it makes contact with the ball. Let's take a closer look at the techniques involved with the screw shot, one of the most satisfying in the snooker repertoire. First of all, let's look at the bridge. And as you can see, the normal bridge is useless for the screw shot. I have to get the tip as low as possible on the white ball to get any backspin. And as you can see, the cue is well jacked up in the air. This is no good, as you want to keep the cue as horizontal as possible to avoid putting any inadvertent side on. So I have to lower my bridge. I can either do this by flattening the fingers, making sure I've got a still very, very firm grip on the cloth, or actually twisting the bridge over and actually lowering the thumb. Both ways mean you can keep the cue as horizontal as possible. There are 2 common faults that inexperienced players make when they're playing the screw shot. The first one is to be worried about the cue ball coming back and touching the tip. So what they tend to do is to snatch the cue back and try and get more backspin on that way. I'll show you how that happens. And of course, what actually happens there is you're not getting enough follow-through with the cue, and so no backspin is applied. The second one is that players tend to lift their head up because they're worried about the shot. And as you can see, if you do this, the cue is also liable to come up, and of course you're not even hitting the ball on the bottom. Let me show you a good routine for practicing your screw shot. Just put the white ball foot and a half behind the red, just try and bring it back a little bit. When you've done that, put another red on the spot. Try now, just to repeat that. When you think you've got control of the ball, then start to try and bring the white ball back a little bit further every time, making sure to keep your head down and cue nice and smooth. Remember to chalk your cue before every shot. And as you can see, leave the cue there after you've played the shot. Inexperienced players are often nervous about playing the screw shot because there's no need to be really. It's harder to play than a plain ball shot, of course, because you're only using the edge of the tip to hit the ball. That's why the tip needs to be dome-shaped so it fits the ball. But if your cue action is sound, then you shouldn't have any problems with that practice can't conquer. When you've got fed up with just bringing the ball back far enough, try and put it into the pocket. That should give you a little bit more satisfaction. Now put a marker ball and move the white ball a different distance away, or whichever you think, and try and bring the white ball back to the marker ball. This is advanced positional play. Move the marker ball to a different position, white ball to a different position, and of course this is controlling the cue ball. And you need to be very, very accurate here, and this is the whole art of the game. See, even there I was a little bit out. Bring the pink ball back nearly to the edge of the pocket. Very difficult shot. Trying to make sure that the white ball doesn't go in the pocket. Try and keep it as close to the edge of the pocket as possible. Now let's look at how we use these different spin shots. Here I want to pot the pink for position on the loose red. Playing a plain ball shot means I'd have to hit the white ball so softly that there's a danger of the pink not reaching the pocket or even going off course. This is where the stun run-through comes in. For this shot, you need to cue slightly higher than for a normal stun shot. This means, of course, you cue most of the forward momentum of the ball, but allow you to strike the ball confidently. When do you use the drag shot? Well, here's a typical situation when the white's a long way from the object ball and you want to play a soft positional shot on the pink. The only alternative to drag would be to trickle the white ball along, which is a very hazardous shot, especially when you're playing at an angle to the nap or on a table that's not perfectly level. The drag shot gets round the problem like this. Aim very low on the white ball as if playing a screw shot, but make sure that all the backspin is worn off by the time it strikes the object ball. It's a difficult shot, and the only way to learn is by trial and error. What sort of situation calls for topspin? Here I want to pot the red and get the white ball back up the table for the black. This is what happens when I play a normal shot. Look at where the white ball ends up. Now I'm going to play the same shot with maximum topspin, but only applying the same amount of power. Remember, raise your bridge so you can hit the cue ball higher up, and with this shot, the same as with the deep screw shot, you must keep absolutely still on the shot to avoid miscuing. The white ball accelerates after contact with the red ball and runs through much further. The last spin we're going to look at is side. Side is used to alter the angle at which the white ball comes off the cushion. It increases the range of positions you can place the white ball in. Try practicing hitting the cue ball with left-hand side up over the spots. Remember, the cue action remains the same with the cue following in a straight line, but the tip of the cue makes contact with the side of the ball. Don't forget to practice right-hand side as well, so that you become equally familiar with both. And notice how difficult it is to control with any degree of accuracy and consistency. Let me demonstrate how side spin can be used in positional play. With a plain ball shot, there's no way I can get the position I want on the black because the angle of the pot means the cue ball comes straight back off the cushion after contact with it. Now, by using right-hand side, I can make the cue ball come off the cushion at an angle to get in exactly the right position on the black. But there's a penalty to pay because using side also makes the pot that much more difficult to accomplish. let me explain why. Here's a 4-ball pot into the middle pocket. Played without side, the cue obviously has to be in line with the shot, and the white follows the path of the red. But if I play the same pot with left-hand side, look at the line of the cue. In order to pot the red, I actually have to aim to miss. What's happening is that by hitting the cue ball on the side, you're pushing it offline, and you have to compensate for this. In fact, the harder you play the shot, the more it goes off course, and this you have to allow for. I'm afraid there's no easy route to learning about side. It's a matter of trial and error and plenty of practice. And of course, there's no point in attempting to pot with side until you're confident about potting with plain ball. As you can imagine, you can play spin shots in all sorts of combinations of side with top or bottom. One of the most advanced is the screw back with side, shown in positions 4 and 6. To perform this shot well, you must be very accurate with your cueing, because only a small area of the tip is in contact with the ball. To demonstrate this effect, I'll first play a shot with right-hand side. Notice how the cue ball follows through and then runs off the cushion at an angle. Now I'm going to play the same shot with screw back as well. This time the cue ball travels off the cushion in the opposite direction. This is because the direction of the ball's rotation has been changed, which in effect reverses the direction of the side spin. At the end of the day, winning at snooker is about putting big breaks together. And that's impossible until you've become skillful at positional play.
66.
There are no secrets to this side of the game. I can't offer you any shortcuts. The only way to learn about positional play is by experimenting. Every time you play a shot, whether it's in practice or during a match, make note of where the cue ball goes. Then start to predict where the ball's going to go before you make the shot. It's a matter of acquiring knowledge through experience. After a while, you'll begin to develop an instinct about where the cue ball is going. Though improving your positional play is mainly a matter of putting in the hours at the table, there are 4 fundamental ideas involved in positional technique that are well worth understanding. Some people think that professional players play absolute pinpoint positional play, trying to put the ball on a sixpence for the next shot. What I'm going to try and show you is that we don't actually play like that. We play percentage positioning. And the idea of that really is to leave yourself with as big a margin of error after you've potted the ball. And here's a typical example from the game of snooker. I've got a red ball into the middle pocket. The natural angle of the white ball is to go down the table. The pink ball is not available, so I've got to try and get on the black. If I roll through with the red ball, the white ball will go off a side cushion into a position over here. But I've got to be very, very careful that I don't snooker myself on either of those reds. So my actual area of position is governed by these 2 reds, which isn't very big. If I play the shot by screwing the white ball to this side of the table, as you can see, once the ball gets past this line here, I've got an easy chance in the whole of the area to pot the black ball. So what I should do is just play the shot the percentage positional play way. Now, I might not have played that too well, but at least I'm on the black. If I'd have played the shot badly the other side, I might have even snookered myself and had to go for the blue. Another tip with positional play is to try and make the white ball travel as little distance as possible from the first shot to the second shot. Let me just show you what I mean by that. As you can see, I've got a fairly easy pot red into the middle pocket. Playing the shot normally would mean that the white ball would come off the cushion and end up roughly in that area. That then means I've got to try and pot the blue ball, send the white ball into baulk, back up the table to get a positional shot on this red here. That's a shot of something like 16 feet, which means any error at all will be exaggerated by the time it gets up here. So what I'm going to try and do is to get the white ball on the other side of the blue, using a bit of right-hand side, so that it goes into that area there. Then means I've got quite an easy shot, roll the blue into the cuff pocket, send the white ball down towards this red. That shot only requires sending the white ball about 3 foot. Okay, that's trying to make sure that the white ball travels as little distance as possible. Another aspect is trying to make sure that after you've potted your coloured ball, especially when there's a lot of red balls on the table, you've got as much chance as possible of potting another red. As you can see from this position, with the white ball just offline with the black, I could actually play to stun the black ball into the pocket, send the white ball off the top cushion back into this part of the table. I'm actually on this red ball here. That's probably the shortest distance the white ball could travel, but there is a chance with not much more difficulty of sending the white ball onto the top cushion into this part of the table, and I'm on either that red, that red, that red, or the red ball there into the top corner pocket. That means I've got a very, very much wider margin of error for the shot and also a choice of balls. The final point I want to talk about concerning positional play is the angle of the pot and how that concerns your positional shot. Now take a straight blue into the little pocket. I can either run through with the white ball or I can screw back, but I can't make the ball go in that direction at all. There are a few times when you need to be straight on the ball, but most times you don't want to be. Now take the opposite, which is a very, very thin cut. As you can see, potting the blue ball into the middle pocket means the white ball is going to travel a very long way, which means I've got no real chance of controlling the white ball. And even if I play the shot as slow as I can, the white ball's still going to go off the top cushion and up the other end of the table. So, of course, that is also undesirable. The best positions to be on for a pot to give you the most chance of manoeuvring the white ball and also keeping very good control of it is between 3/4 ball and a half ball. Let me show you why. This is a half ball pot, and as you can see, a normal shot means I can keep quite good control on the white ball. You've probably noted that the white ball actually struck the cushion directly behind the black spot. I can also alter the angle that the white ball takes with side afterwards, which gives me good control. If I play the same shot, another half ball shot, but now use maximum screw back, the white ball strikes the cushion there, still keeping control of the white ball. So I've got an area on the top cushion for about a foot or a foot and a half that I've actually manoeuvred the white ball into. Now take a 3/4 ball pot, thicker than a half ball. When I play this shot, the white ball strikes the cushion there. And with maximum screw back, I can actually make the white ball go into the top corner pocket, or even further. So you can see it struck there. This means I've got a much bigger area that I've actually manoeuvred the white ball in. Of course, once a ball hits the cushion, it can then be altered with side. So in between the half ball and the 3/4 ball, you have a tremendous variety of positional shots. If you start getting straighter on a shot, it means that you can't actually alter the angle of the white ball too much. You have to use too much power. With power comes head movement and error. A lot of people think by putting side on the white ball you can actually transmit side to the object ball and then perhaps help it in the pocket. I'm just going to show that this is a complete myth with the use of the paw balls. I'm going to hit the red ball with plenty of left-hand side, try and hit the blue one dead centre and send it along the baulk line. And watch, there's no side transmitted to the blue. And just to prove that the wobbling on the blue ball was not actual side, just going to hit the blue ball along the baulk line with as much centre as I can. You see even there, that's wobbling. If you take your snooker seriously, practicing is not just about improving your game, it's a means to an end, and that is winning snooker matches. Personally, I love match play. It suits my temperament. But there are plenty of players who are fine in practice but don't fulfill their potential during a match. One of the problems is learning to keep your feelings under control. If you get upset, you lose concentration, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. What you should be aiming for is consistency, especially under pressure. It's much better to be consistently good than occasionally brilliant. One bad spell in a match can finish you off, but a flash of brilliance is no guarantee of victory. When you're behind and things aren't going too well, there's a temptation to take a risky shot in order to get back into the game. Be careful. It's better to play safely and wait for the game to swing round. Your opponent might get overconfident and attempt too ambitious a shot. That's when you'll get the chance to get back into the game. Learn to weigh up each situation as you find it. Evaluate the chances of a particular shot coming off. Could it lead you into a big break, or is it just a one-off pot? Work out what will happen if you miss. Is it worth the risk, considering the opening you might give your opponent? Of course, your decision will be influenced by the scores and the state of the balls on the table. Often enough, a good break will win you the frame, so you must be prepared to go for the shot 100% when it arises. Be decisive. Defensive play has its place, but it won't necessarily win you matches. Above all, learn from your mistakes. When you lose a match, work out where you went wrong and go over the points in practice. We've covered a lot of ground in this video. Now let's see how it all fits together under match conditions. My opponent for the game is somebody I know very well. Now let's meet him. And also meet John Smythe, international referee, who's going to toss up to see who breaks.
Steve on the toss, some will break. First frame.
Right, well, it's always worth breaking off in the first frame. Put your opponent under pressure. Going to play the standard professional break. Hit the second to last red. Strong right-hand side, off the top two cushions, back between the blue and the pink. Trying to put the white ball tight on the bottom cushion behind the green. Well, it's not bad. Not much chance there. Well, can't really play too much of a safety shot. I think I'll just try and trundle this red into the top pocket. Usually if you play a shot like this and you miss it, the balls usually come out safe. Well, it's not too easy for him to pot.
Steve 29, Davis 15.
Well, this is a bit difficult. I haven't really got much of a chance of potting one. I think I can probably play a shot to nothing as a pot that first red ball. Won't be an easy shot, but the white ball come back down the table again anyway. Get the white ball on the cushion. Make it a difficult shot. Hope he can't see it red by the blue there. Well, this isn't easy. He's put myself under a lot of pressure here. Can't really play any of the top balls to get back down the table. The red's too close to the middle pocket for that. Looks like I'll have to probably go for the... squeeze it past the brown. Where's the white ball going to go? Well, it's going to go up the table. I can't guarantee where it's going to go, but... I've got to pop this ball, otherwise I'm in trouble. Keep my head down. Ah, good shot. Oh, perfect, look.
One.
Couldn't have hoped for anything better than that. Perfect on the black. Just pop this natural shot off the top cushion back onto the three reds, waiting to go into the opposite pocket. Should get a few here.
8.
Looks like I'll pop the ball hard, stun it across, pop the black in the same pocket. Try and make the white ball move as short a distance as
9.
possible. The same shot here. Just screw the white ball back. Ball's only going to move a couple of foot. There's no chance of it going off course. Just trundle the white ball through here. Make sure I don't get straight on the black, because then I can stun across the table again. If I was straight, I'd be in trouble. Well, it wouldn't be so easy anyway. Just stun up into the middle of the table again for the other loose red. Well, my only problem's going to be the two reds on the side cushion. They shouldn't be that difficult. They're not really lined up for the pocket, but they go into the middle pocket. Just stun here and keep on the pink.
25.
Got to make sure after I pop this third last red, that I've got an angle on the black to get behind the reds. Pop the pink, get into the middle of the table again. I haven't come far enough there. Need the rest now.
31.
Not a difficult shot with the rest. Got to make sure that I keep the rest head perfectly still on the shot. Very important part of the game, that. Lots of players fall down on the rest, so they're not confident with it. Got to practice with it a lot. Keep my hand on the back of the rest. Make sure it's all still. Same cue in action. Still pulls at the back. Very important. Looks like I've come perfect on that black. It's just an angle. I don't want to have too much momentum on the white ball, but I can stun this white ball round the back of the reds there, so they both pot into the middle pocket. Oh, that's diabolical. That's a joke. Well,
39.
I still need both reds, I think. Yeah, 25 in front. Well, I think I'll try and pop the one in the corner. I won't leave much on anyway. Screw back on the black. The chances are I'll play it. It'll go safe anyway. That was miles out, but still. 25 in front.
39, Davis. Steve, 29, Davis,
Well,
54.
I can't go for the red by the middle pocket. It won't cut in, and I don't fancy putting it in the corner. It's too dodgy. I think I'll try and play exactly the same shot he's just played. Play safe at the same time. Try and get on the black, just in case. Oh, that's a good shot.
One.
Don't like the position much, though. I've got to decide now whether to go for it or play safe. Still, cutbacks into the black are things you practice all the time, so I should know the angle. Just hope I get position on the red. Get around the back of it. Get in the middle pocket. Got the black. Where's the white ball going? Oh, well, it's not as bad as it could have been. At least I can cut the ball into the middle pocket now.
8.
Where's the white ball going to go? Is it going to cannon into any of the port colours? No, it looks like it's going to go between the green and the brown. That'd be nice. I can come back off the two cushions into the middle of the table. That's good.
9.
All right, pop the brown off the side cushion. Back into the middle of the table for the yellow. Make sure I keep my head down. Pressure shots coming up on the colours when you can win. I haven't come far enough. Got to get the rest out.
13.
Screw back with the rest is difficult. It's a different feeling to when you're screwing back normally. Just got to make sure I hit the ball sweet. Oh, that's good.
15.
10 behind. 10 behind. Green, brown, blues, 12. Pink balls. 8 in front. Need the pink. Just off the side cushion, back into the middle of the table again.
18.
Oh, it's not the best of places, is it? No, I'm okay. I'll run through off two cushions. Yeah, it was a terrible shot, that was. Mind you, if I'd have played it
22.
normally with plain board, I probably ended up going off in the middle pocket, something stupid like that. Still, too much of an angle now on the blue to just roll it through. I'd have to come off the top cushion with a bit of side. put the side on to keep away from the cushions.
27.
Just far enough. Right, I just got to pot the pink now. Well, don't worry about getting on the black, there's no point. Just concentrate on cueing nice and smooth and keep my head down on the shot. Doesn't matter where it goes as long as I pot the ball. Got it.
33.
8 in front on the black, that's a lovely place to be. I'll just roll this over the top pocket. I shouldn't think he'll even bother potting the black now.
33 to Steve and frame.
Right, well, potted 4 reds, 4 blacks. This is the last loose red. I've got to think about getting into the pack now. It's always a bit difficult. Make sure I leave myself an angle on the black. I don't want to be
33.
straight. Now I've got to smash the black in off the top cushion and try and disturb the reds. The only trouble with this shot is sometimes when you concentrate on trying to smooth the reds, you forget about potting the black and leave the game for your opponent. Must concentrate on potting the black. Oh, perfect. Oh, no. Well, that's unlucky. I usually come out better than that. Just the sort of thing you don't want to happen. I have to play safe now. Can't really get down the bottom of the table with that red over the middle pocket. I'll have to play off the side cushion and behind the black. It's not the best of safety shots. Doesn't really do any positive stuff. Right. Just roll that through for the red. Oh, I've gone a bit too far there. There's a set on as well there, I think. I have to get the half butts out now. Fortunately, it's not a difficult shot. I have to chalk the half butts up. You never know who's been using them or what's been done. People usually like go fishing with them or something. Right. Just prod this in, keep on the black. It's not a difficult shot. The only trouble is the tip of the half butt usually is twice as big as your own tip, and then... Oh, just winning. Still perfect on the black.
7.
Right, now what can I do? That set's definitely on. Yeah, just screw back the black off the side cushion. Get back into the middle half of that table. Make sure I keep away from the cushion. Don't want to be there. You can't screw back if you want to. Oh, that's lovely on it.
14.
Well, it's not a dead set. It's not lined up perfectly for the pocket, but of course if I hit it on the right, I'm going to push the second ball to the left. It's an amazing thing that happens. Even though they're lined up for the near jaw. Squeezes the balls across. Got to keep on screw back for the black as well at the same time. Perfect. Difficult to judge though. Sometimes you get them too far to the right and the ball goes even to the opposite side. Have to be very careful. A lot of practice required for those. Well, I'm a bit straight in this. I can either play very short or screw back past the pink. I'll try the pink. No, that's no good. It was a difficult shot. I had to put a lot of power in, but I have to play safe now and hope I get another chance. Well, he's left me in again. I need the pink, though. It's a bit of a problem here with the pink. I can't really...
18.
Can't really get the pink ball out now. I'm in the wrong position for it. I'll have to just stab the blue in and try for a double if I'm in the right angle. Right, I just need the pink.
23.
I can play safe, but the pink's such a lovely double, and the fact that the white ball's going to go down, I can actually try and play to get the white ball behind the black if I miss it. Got it. Oh, I'm also on the black and nowhere near behind the black, but
29.
doesn't matter now, it's gone in. One all.
36. Davis and frame.
All right, here's a chance. If I can roll the red through, get an angle on the black to smash into the pack,
21.
I could screw into them, disturb a load of reds, and the white would have come back off the pack, and I'll be on the red by my arm. Guaranteed certainty, yeah? Well, I thought it was. Well, that's made it difficult. It's a potable red, but I've got
28.
bridge over the ball now. I could cut the one in the middle, but that's too difficult. Still the right shot to play. Make sure I keep one foot on the floor even though I'm sitting on the table. Concentrating on a solid bridge. Good shot.
29.
Oh, not the perfect angle on the black. I've got to make sure I don't mess this up. If I play a very, very soft screw, I could hit that second red and keep on the first red. Oh, I did that well. Now I can run through the red.
36.
The white ball's going to go into the second red. But if I put enough top on, the white ball will follow through.
$37.
That's a good shot. Well in front here. Oh, he's got me in the snooker now. 2 reds left. I mustn't leave any of them up. I'm in trouble. I have to play a lay on that one on the cushion. Oh, that's good. There's not much chance of putting one now. Well, I'm a few points in front here. I can afford to try for this one in the middle. That was well good cued.
1.
Wouldn't have mattered if I'd have missed that. You still had to put that red on the top cushion. That was just to draw the frame even. I could get back on the red, screw the pink ball off 2 cushions. Just got to make sure I'm not straight on the red. Otherwise I can't get back on another colour.
7.
One along the top cushion. Put a little bit of right-hand side on it. Tends to make the putt a little bit easier.
8.
Get on the yellow now from this blue. Shouldn't be too difficult. Too many points in front. I think I'll get a bit flashier. I'll go off the side, bottom cushion with a bit of side and come around the back of the yellow. Come a bit too far.
13.
To get the rest out, I think. Yeah. Don't want to be off balance. Still important to put all the balls to keep my opponent off the table. Stun this off the bottom cushion behind the green. No, it's gone a bit too far. This is going to be a difficult shot. Well, the angle's okay to get on the brown, but with the white ball near the cushion, it makes it very hard. Concentrate on cueing smooth.
$18.
Right, well, piece of cake from here.
$22. $27.
Oh, the black's not on its spot, but I can run through it or I can screw back. I'll screw back just to see if I can try and keep my head down as much as possible. Give it some belt. That's it. Has it gone enough?
33.
Well, it's a difficult shot. Got them so far in front. Don't make any difference anyway. Just winning.
40. Davis and frame.
Oh, it is a difficult shot. I can't really pop the red and stun it dead because there's that red over the middle pocket. You can pop that easy if I miss it. It's a difficult shot. I have to play a shot to nothing and screw the white ball back down to the bottom of the table. I hope if I miss it, I'll get away with it. Yeah, that's good. The red always wobbles in the jaws if you get it close. That's left him nothing. Well,
6.
26 in front. red's 27, black's 34, and then there's 35 on the table. I've got to get that last red off the cushion. If I screw back a little bit on the black, if I've got the angle there, I can knock the red ball off the cushion. Well, it's not perfect. If I did black with this plain board, just miss it. I'll stun it just slightly, try and knock the red off. Oh, that's gone magic. Oh, I've won the game. Just slop this in the middle.
14.
Get on the blue. Home and dry.
15.
That was a good shot, knocking that away at the cushion. They win games, those.
20.
Oh, dear. This is horrible. What can I do here? Got me all over the place. Safety shots, so hard to get out of this one. I have to look for a red ball that gives me a clear path with the white ball back down into bulk. I've got no chance of potting one. The white ball's really nearly on the cushion, and well, I'd be mad to go for a pot if I could see one even. There's a red there. I can play that off the top cushion round the side of those 4 reds and back down the table again. Good shot. Oh, it's gone in. Oh, that's handy.
1.
Oh, well, I got a lucky shot. Not on the ball, but I can't complain. Well, I think I'll roll him up behind the brown now. He should be sick as a pig after that. They're difficult shots, but I played that well. Just touched it.
1. Davis.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, it's easy enough to hit a red. I mean, there's millions of them down there, but it's nothing to do with that at this stage of the game. I've got to try and hit a red and also stop him from scoring one afterwards, which is nearly impossible. He made it difficult for me. He's got so close to the brown that I'm forced to go off 2 cushions, really, to get down the table. That makes it harder. I think I have to go off the bottom and the side, try and miss the blue. I don't know, and try and... Well, there's got to be a lot of luck attached to this. I suppose if I missed the blue and that red, I could go down on the bottom cushion. Oh, just enough distance. For a bit of luck, he got some. Oh, hit the blue.
Well.
Well,
5.
I
Davis.
might have got away with it. Played a bad shot. Looks like I might have stopped you from potting that red. Well, does it go? I mean, just clip it in. It's a bit difficult, though. I've got a cue over the top of the red. Let's have a look, see if anything else goes first. No. Well, this isn't easy. I mean, I don't really know where the white ball's going to go. I can't control it apart from just plop the red in. I've still got to go for it instead of playing safe. It's the right shot. Yeah, did it well. Kept my head down.
1.
No, I'm not on the ball, though. To play a safety shot now. Let's try and play the green full in the face and get the white ball tight on the cushion behind the brown. Should put him in more trouble. I've got a double kiss there. Still, it's not too bad.
1. Davis.
Well, I'm 30 points behind. I need 1 snooker. I can stun the yellow dead, put the white behind the brown, and hopefully get the snooker behind the brown. Let's have a look. Well, it's not too bad. It's not a full ball snooker. You could probably swerve out of that. Let's have a look at this. It looks like a snooker. I can swerve out. It's not worth going off a cushion. I'll get up in the air. Aim to miss the brown with plenty of left-hand side. Dig into it, bounce the white ball, then let it grip. That's it. That's still 30 points in front. That means he needs another snooker. I think I'm fairly confident of winning this one. It's just gone enough. I've got the white ball placed in the D wherever I want it, and there's a chance of putting this red, get round the back and in, up with the blue.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Could have been worse, I suppose. At least the red went in. Oh, I don't fancy putting the black from here. It's too hard. Oh, you've got to play a safety shot. Mind you, the blue's not that difficult. I fancy this. White ball's coming back up the table. Where's the white ball going now? That's good. Mind you, there's a lot of work to do here. Black ball's tied up. Makes it really hard when the black ball's not in play. Means you've got to keep on going back up for the blue. Got to get the black ball into play as soon as possible if I want to continue the break here. I can just miss the bunch of reds with this red and get back on the blue. Oh, just clipped them, but still I'm okay.
7.
Well, I'm dead straight on the blue. It means I can't do anything down at the black end. I'll just have to roll the white ball through. Pot the red next to the blue. Keep it nice and smooth. Walk around the table nice and slowly. Got a chance here.
12.
Pop this screw back past the blue to keep on the right side of it.
13.
Good shot. Straighter, means a bit of a cutback. Got to concentrate on this one. It's always difficult for under to keep your head down.
$105.
Green's not in its spot. That means I've got to be a bit more accurate with the white ball now. Send it across the table. Put it on the cushion.
107.
Play a little screw back here. Nice and smooth.
110.
Well, there shouldn't be any more problems here. Could be 132. Stun this hard onto the side cushion.
114.
I think I've won the game.
$119.
Well, I've seen this shot before earlier on. Shot with the side. Keep your head down.
125.
4-2 and I won the match.
$132 to Steve.
I hope this video has given you a better understanding to this fascinating game. Who knows, you may even become a snooker addict like me. Even if you don't, I hope I've given you an insight into the game that will help you appreciate it when you watch it on television. If you do want to seriously improve your game, don't let your enthusiasm make you rush ahead too fast. Take time to develop your basic techniques. Practice them until they're as perfect as you can make them. Then you'll know what successful snooker is all about.